Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is going to be tip 253. And I'm going to tell you where this idea started to come from and why I started to research it. I've been watching some of the posts from like Chris Nagel and Stephen Nagy and Andrew Chestnut and a couple of people from the tribe that happened to be at Secret Knock this week. And Chris posted something from just a brief little blurb, very brief, from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And what I did is I started to do some research on him because he talks a lot about like the mind and how he goes into a lot of the scientific part of how the mind and our thoughts impact our body. So what I did is he has a program, so it's of course something I'll check into later, but I have a huge interest in how I think and how it affects my body. And I've done a lot of work with like affirmations and meditation and gratitude in the past year to try to help me to move forward in a more positive outlook and in a positive way. And I will say a lot of that, it has started with Doc V, with the meditation and the gratitude. And I wanted to look into this a little bit more because I do know that if I shift how I think, I make better decisions, I feel better, and life just seems to work better. And I love surrounding myself with people who are working in that same direction because it makes me feel good. And I found an article, again, I want to learn more about this, about Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he does do podcasts. I'm not sure if they're free yet. I was looking into it. He does have a program that are his formula for improving your life through your thoughts. But I did find an article that was from July of 2018 from a group called Illuminate You. And it talked about, do your thoughts have the power to make you sick? And I believe, yes, they do. If you put yourself into, and they call that, I know I always talk about falling into the dark well. They talk about it being sucked into the downward spiral. So I guess really we're all thinking of it the same way. Our energy level is low. You can either be in places of joy, love, happiness, or you can be worry, which is, I guess, kind of in the middle, or despair, anger, frustration, which are all negative. So I'm going to guess if you look at energy as a line, which is a lot of law of attraction, Zahar Mahun, if you're falling low, if you're below worry, fear, frustration, despair, you're falling into that negative spiral or you're falling into the well. Well, what was really interesting is we know our thoughts are like a type of energy, but again, is there scientific things to back this? How do we get to a place where we can really start to understand and get that feeling for how we think? Because that goes even back to Michael, he does The Untethered Soul. And why am I forgetting his last name? Because I have the book, the audio, all that stuff. But for The Untethered Soul, he talks a lot about the mind and how you have to really start to think more positive. And I know my life feels so much better now that I'm thinking more positively, that I'm putting myself in a place to be happy, where I'm not giving away how I feel to somebody else, letting somebody else control how I feel. I'm taking responsibility for it. My life feels so much better. But what they did in this article, and I actually saved it, so maybe I'll try to at some point today post it in the links, but what I loved about this article is they did something scientific, a little like experiment, which I love that kind of stuff. I love like the knowledge base, the science behind, and trying to explain what is unknown to us, because so much is unknown, and we have to be open that as time comes on, we're going to learn. Well, this article showed that they actually like had people speak into water, and then they froze this water that people were speaking into, because they wanted to look at, like, is there an energy produced? Is there a vibration from us? Is there an energy? And they were freezing the water to take a look at the water to see was there any differences in the way this water developed? Because our bodies are predominantly water. We know that. Our brain is predominantly water. Our bodies are predominantly water. So what was really interesting about this study that they did is that when you spoke into water, if you spoke with gratitude, with love, with appreciation, they were beautiful, like snowflake-shaped crystals inside the water that was frozen that you spoke into positively or negatively. But now when they spoke in anger and frustration and despair and unhappiness in that water and they froze it, it almost looked disease-like. It did not have beautifully formed crystals. It did not have uniform. It did not appear to be something that if we went to a store to buy a beautiful stone or crystal, that was not what we would look for. It did look like disease. So it was really interesting because they show pictures of when you speak positively into water and it's frozen, that it does crystallize in snowflake-like patterns. So that really kind of cemented for me that this thinking positive, maybe it feels woo-hooey, or it feels outside of what we all know, but I know for myself, in changing the way I feel, in changing the way I approach things, in trying to periodically throughout my day say positive statements to myself, gratitude journaling, meditating, when I'm starting to get frustrated, to try to pull myself in and find the tools that make me feel better. Is it to meditate again for a couple of minutes? Is it to say some positive statements to myself? Is it to take a brief walk? Is it to say, okay, you know what, we're not getting anywhere in this conversation right now, let's break and come back later? Is it taking a minute to play with my animals? Is it a chance to have a conversation with somebody that's important to you? Is it looking for the bunny? Is it looking for the butterfly? What is it? I guess part of what I'm going to do now is make sure that I keep together in my tools of being successful with weight loss. I'm also going to have tools that make me re-engage in that feel-good place when something starts to derail me. Because when I saw those pictures of what water looks like that is frozen based on whether you're talking into it in a positive way or in a negative way, that to me was like, wow, it is true. How we feel. If our bodies are energy, our bodies are thoughts, our bodies are how we feel. And if that is communicated through water, as simple as freezing water, and we can see a difference in what that frozen water looks like, then it has to be impacting our bodies. And I do know without a doubt that I feel so much better when I think positively. I make better decisions when I keep myself in that place of feeling good. I know that that is why the fundamentals that Doc V has been teaching us for the past year and a half are that we start our days with gratitude and appreciation journaling, and that we are our thankful journal, and that meditation. And I know that, and I am affirmations he does with his daughter every day on the way to school. And that is something that I did a ton of in the beginning. These are tools that have really helped me. And if you feel like you're struggling and you don't feel good, maybe you want to give that a try, because for me, in the past year and a half, it's been life-changing. And for me, it's helped me to make the decisions to be successful on my weight loss journey 5 years out, to still be on it, to still be engaged, and to still be moving forward. I love when I can see something like that that's backed scientifically. And that water, it's almost like I wonder if I could do it myself, but they showed the pictures. And when you were speaking with thankfulness, appreciation, gratitude, it looked like snowflakes, beautiful snowflakes. But if it was anger and frustration, and you can almost imagine it, because if you're angry and frustrated, you can just almost imagine like the water's vibrating very differently than if you're calm. So if you're getting that frustration and anger today, start to build a list of things that will help you to disengage from that, so that you don't make yourself sick unknowingly, so that you can live your best life feeling good and making the decisions that will let you achieve unlimited, and that's the Har Mahun, that will let you achieve unlimited dreams, goals, and aspirations. Make this a weekend of slingshot forward, as Doc V says, of unlimited potential, as the Har Mahun would say, and of feeling good and enjoying the gift of life that we've all been given. Have a beautiful weekend, and thank you for always being there for me. Talk to you soon.